Hey everybody, OG Brown Nerd here, and today we're going to continue off with part 5 of What If All Might was born in the Dragon Ball Z world. And before we begin, please like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps the channel grow. Now with the Frieza saga ending, Vegeta returns back to Earth with everybody because they brought one spaceship. He also doesn't really know what else to do. And with the timeline matching the canon story of Dragon Ball, it's going to be a bit before we see future Trunks arrive. So back on Earth, Vegeta's going to be adjusting to his new life, staying at Capsule Corps because of the gravity training ship. He's going to be obsessed with becoming the legendary Super Saiyan. Raditz has actually moved into Grandpa Gohan's house, staying near Goku and his family. Goku, Gohan, and Raditz spar often with each other. All Might has stepped back from his time as the symbol of peace, allowing Izuku to take on more responsibility. His training with One For All has progressed very nicely. Some semblance of peace has returned to the Earth, but not for long. Time progresses and suddenly one day they sense a huge energy spike in the desert. Sensing the monstrous energy of Frieza, Goku, who is with All Might and Izuku, rushes off over there. While Gohan and Raditz, who are training in the woods, join them as well. Vegeta is training in seclusion when he senses this as well. Goku, All Might, and Izuku land, seeing a weird ship and two strangers facing off against King Cold and some of the Frieza force. The two warriors destroy them in what seems like a second. King Cold came to Earth seeking revenge for his son, but instead he found his demise. Goku, All Might, and Izuku step closer, realizing that one of the boys is a Saiyan as his hair turns from gold to purple. The other one looks larger than life, and he's actually dressed the same as Izuku? Future Deku looks at All Might and immediately rushes over, hugging and bowing to his master. All Might, at a loss for words, just asks, how? Future Trunks flies over and explains what happened in their timeline. He describes in horror as All For One somehow returned. He stole the life force of the Z Fighters, even managing to get his hands on All Might. The embers of One For All gave him a power that was unfathomable. He used it to destroy the Saiyans before taking the life force of Goku, Vegeta, and Raditz. Terrorizing the future as the symbol of evil, Future Deku and Future Trunks only managed to survive thanks to Future Gohan and All Might. He survived the life force transfer but became a sickly looking skeleton. They secretly trained for their final war, but they failed. All For One managed to kill Future Gohan and All Might. Future Deku and Trunks retreated, and when they realized they stood no chance, Bulma revealed she was working on a way to travel to the past. All they know is that two bioengineered Nomus attack an island, leading to the Z Fighters to intervene. As the Z Fighters were weakened by the Nomus, All For One sweeps in, taking their life force. Goku's body was frail as he was infected by a nanovirus that ravaged his body. He didn't stand much of a chance against All For One, and when he took his power, the Saiyans fell too. Future Trunks and Deku say that if the Z Fighters can manage to defeat the Nomus, then with their powers combined, they might be able to stop All For One before he becomes too powerful. The boys say they're going to stay in the past and only return back to the future once they're strong enough to win. The two future warriors then greet Vegeta, Raditz, and Gohan, telling them what happened and why they are here. Goku immediately informs the human Z Fighters, and for the next 3 years, they will have to train like madmen in order to stop All For One, once and for all. Little do they know, in the distant future, All For One continues his conquest of the planet, eventually ruling and becoming the permanent symbol of evil. Bulma has become the leader of the resistance, creating android fighters meant to destroy All For One. Now, over the course of the 3 years before the Nomu attack, adult Deku and Trunks work with the Saiyans to help them master their power. Young Izuku is stunned at the power his future counterpart possesses. It's even greater than All Might's, which is unfathomable to him. All Might is so proud of his protege, telling him he made the right choice in passing One For All onto him. Future Deku is reluctant to accept the compliment, saying that even with all his power, he couldn't defeat All For One. He won't live up to his potential until he ends this threat. In the 3 years under Future Trunks and Goku's tutelage, Raditz, Gohan, and Vegeta all unlock the Super Saiyan form. But upon doing so, they believe they can push this form even further, and they work towards that. They use Deku as a sparring partner because in the future, he has mastered One For All, and even unlocked the techniques of its previous users. techniques like Black Whip, Fajin, and a kinetic booster, allowing him to ramp up his speed and power to an unprecedented degree. Black Whip also allows him to use his ki to bind his opponents. All Might always suspected that the previous techniques of the past users were always available to him, but he never reached the level required to achieve this. Young Izuku is absolutely mind-blown. By harnessing the techniques of the past users, it makes his future self one of the greatest martial artists ever. This inspires young Gohan and young Izuku to push each other and grow. Now the day of the Nomu attacks come, but they're surprised when nothing happens. Little do they know that the symbol of evil has conquered his timeline, stealing the future warriors' time machine from their future selves and jumping into the past to conquer this one as well. All For One has decided to become the master of all the timelines. He reveals himself to the Z Fighters, telling them that their power is nothing, and that once he takes their life forces, he will become unstoppable across all of time. And if you haven't figured it out, in this version of the story, All For One's ability is that he can steal the key essence of other people, absorbing it into himself, kind of like Cell. Future Deku, Goku, All Might, and Vegeta jump into battle as Raditz, Gohan, Young Deku, and all the other Z Fighters support. The symbol of evil's power is terrifying, and he is able to keep up with all four of them with no difficulty. Future Deku begins ramping his speed up with Fajin, using the kinetic booster to keep up with All For One. His training in these past 3 years has paid off. But every time he lands a hit, All For One manages to regenerate. All Might is struggling, but he pushes past his limits, his power growing in response to the need. If he was ever the world's symbol of peace, he needs to find a way. Vegeta and Goku begin ascending their power as well. The Saiyans will not be destroyed today. They're close to Mastered Super Saiyan, and at this point they're still unable to tap into Super Saiyan 2. But they're getting close, as All For One laughs, calling their efforts so futile, their resistance, it's pointless. He knocks them all away with a powerful ki expulsion. He then tells them how he killed their families, not fast, but slowly, because they resisted him, their very existence mocking his greatness. He could have stayed in the future, let time play out, but their insolence, it's why he will conquer this time too. He looks at All Might before asking, where is his smile now? All Might's embers of One For All begin to rage as him, Deku, and Young Deku begin an all-out assault against One For All. Not to be outdone, Gohan joins the fray, his power surpassing that of Goku and Vegeta. He's knocking on the door. Future Deku, Young Deku, and All Might all hit All For One with a 100% smash, sending him flying into the ground. Gohan lets loose with a massive ki assault as the rest of the Z Fighters join in, trying to end this menace. Goku and Vegeta recover, joining in with blasts of their own. The symbol of evil laughs as he holds all the fighters at bay before shooting out an electrostatic attack at Young Deku. He begins to approach him as everyone's assault gets more desperate. He grabs the boy, sucking his life force out, but Izuku's scream causes something to snap inside of Gohan. He's not going to let his friend get destroyed. He rushes in without thinking. He ascends into Super Saiyan 2, knocking All For One away from his friend. Deku is alive. He gets up, standing next to Gohan. The two young warriors get ready to launch an all-out assault as future Deku and All Might join in. Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the Z Fighters will support with ki blasts to keep his regeneration at bay. With Gohan and Young Deku leading the assault, the final war begins. They leap in. Gohan's superior speed and strength allow him to surpass Izuku, but not to be outdone. Young Izuku forces his body to use Fajin, boosting his speed, even though it's ravaging his body. The two warriors begin piecing up All For One, slowing him down, allowing for future Deku and All Might to land smashes on him. Future Deku binds him with Black Whip, allowing All For One to be hit with all the Z Fighters' beams. Izuku and Gohan go for the finish, repeatedly assaulting All For One. His smile fades as he realizes he's not strong enough to stop this. Revealing that he can use the solar flare technique from Tien, he desperately tries to teleport away. But future Deku is smart. He binds him with Black Whip and thrusts him right back into the middle of the battle. All Might uses all of his strength to land his final smash against All For One, sending him flying upwards, while future Deku smashes him down into past Deku and Gohan. The two of them unleash their final assault while the Z Fighters send their biggest ki blasts. All For One is finally destroyed, as not even a single cell of him remains. The battle is won, but at great cost. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this part off right here. The most action-packed episode yet. Please let me know your favorite part down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more. Peace.